Hungary can be known to throw quite a few surprises. Well, by the way qualifying is already looking, we already have a surprise straight out of the bat. Welcome along to Breakout Racing League here for Tier 4, and we are here for Round 11, the Hungarian Grand Prix. You've got 14 corners that make up this track, 2 DRS zones, 1 going into turn 1, and the other one going directly to turn 2, so back to back. And well, needless to say, although Hungary may be a bit boring at times, it can still definitely throw in some excitement as, well, this year, in 2021, Valtteri Bottas played a little bit of bowling into turn 1, so you could possibly see some overtakes or maybe a bit of chaos there. And turn 4, a high-speed corner. We could possibly see someone trying to make a move there as Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton tried to do on who they were battling, and it didn't quite work out. And also, you also got the fast right-hander, which is where Slayer's coming out of, which is turn 11, where people have been known to make mistakes as of recently, not only in realistic, but also in a few other tiers as well. So we'll see how these drivers will be able to mitigate it in these inter-conditions. My name is Minico, and alongside me is Zach. Now, Zach, you just came back from commentating Tier 3, and well, despite there only being 10 drivers, there was still quite a bit of excitement. Are you expecting more of that tonight?
Yeah, Tier 4, especially in rating quality, we're not sure about the race yet, but I'm expecting a lot of chaos here. Saw Formula 2, there chaos in both feature and speed race. We just had realistic there in Tier 3. Tier 3 has been the only race so far this weekend that's been full dry in every session, and it's looking that way. At least so far. We do not have Tier 1 or Tier 2 for tomorrow, by the way. So we've not seen that happen yet. So now we're just waiting for the race really, and I'm excited to answer your question. Yes, I'm expecting a lot of chaos here in Tier 4.
Yeah, as everyone usually does, and obviously we are here for the racing. We've missed out for 2 weeks here for Tier 4, and well, needless to say, we're back. And we are definitely already up and running. As we're going through qualifying, John Lara sets the pace in the Haas with a 1:18.1. So that is the banker's lap everyone has to beat. But I'm going to quickly go through the standings as of right now. But before I do that, there has been a big change. Since you see John Lara in the Haas car, the other Haas 2 weeks ago was DXD Ishigo. He was actually promoted up to Tier 3. If you guys didn't see Tier 3, well, he may or may not have won that race. So already he's showing his pace up there, but John Lara is now replacing him. Now onto the standings, and it is very tight at the top. The top 2, which is BRL Phantom and James B, separated by a single point. So already things are super spicy at the top.
Yeah, 100% as Johan Laura, I'm not saying, I don't know how to say his name, I'll be honest with you. He's set the pace with the 28.1, I'm not saying, like I said earlier, 18.1, that's super fast for inners. But he set a 21 lap time, and so far no one's been able to contest for that so far. As soon as I say that, Fluky in the Ferrari goes to the P2, only barely a tenth ahead, not ahead, behind, with a 28.2. So it seems like quality lap times are already heating up.
And right as you say that, Johan Lara goes even faster, dips into the 27s with a 1:27.5. So already the gap between him and second place is nearly 7 tenths. So that's going to be a bit difficult, but these drivers can definitely beat it, especially since, by the looks of it, the track is starting to evolve a little bit. And well, we'll see how they are able to get on with it. Meanwhile, next person to cross the line is going to be the Ferrari of Ball Guy. He actually invalidated his lap time, but he is going to go again. So the next one is going to be, I believe, Ethab. He goes up to P2 with a 1:28.1, but still quite a distance away from the Haas. Next person across the line is, I think that might have been Carbon. No, sorry, it was Hobbob, actually. He actually just crossed the line to go up to P2, but then it was P3 because all of a sudden Slayer, who won 2 weeks ago, let's not forget that, Britain was wet at the time for the race, and Slayer, he won that race, and well, look where he is now, already proving his wet pace, up provisional pole for now.
Yeah, really. So it seems like Slayer is at least so far in qualifying in the race. It's not jumping to conclusions yet, but if you were to jump to conclusions, if you were that type of person, I would be saying that Slayer is the guy to beat when it comes to being an interweather, especially since as pointed out, Fluky goes fastest over 27.4. So it seems like the track is definitely groping up for those intermediates, and I'm starting to see a dry line a little bit.
Yep, and obviously if you're on that dry line, you'll get the most amount of grip, as how it usually works. And the drivers are trying to mitigate that. And right now, four drivers are currently in the 27 lap times. We'll see if anybody else is able to get up there. Let's see. Ball Guy's going to come across the line. Where does he go? He goes up to P5 with the 127.9, still marginally in the 27s. Next one to cross the line is EPAP. He goes up to P6. And next one to cross the line is the Haas. I believe it was Shredder, as he is starting another lap. Next person to cross the line, I believe, is going to be the McLaren of Valkyrie coming around the final corner. Valkyrie needs a little bit of momentum. Well, there's the momentum right there, and goes on to provisional pole with a 127.2. That's what Valkyrie wanted for the start of this weekend.
Yes, and I was told by Carbon and Ashenbot in the weather report, and it is going to be dry the whole way for the Grand Prix. So it's only going to be raining in qualifying, so it will be full dry the whole race. So I would not be surprised if these guys start on mediums or go to hards or even take the gamble of going soft to mediums, which in my opinion do not work, and I will not be surprised if the guys start off the race on mediums.
We shall see. Obviously, strategy is definitely going to play a factor around here, but by the looks of it, it is going to be an easy one-stop. But the question is to what tires they will go on. I've been hearing a lot of rumors. Obviously, there's the soft hard and the medium hard that are definitely the way to go. But I have heard rumors of a possible soft medium. I thought it was very risky. Other people are saying it's not. So I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. But ideally, you would most likely see some soft to hard or medium to hard. And, well, qualifying position for that, it's not going to mean anything. Because even if you're outside the top 10 or not, everyone gets free tire choice.
Yep. Anyway, I wouldn't even say that the strategies you're going to point out are even going to win the race, because we've seen a trend so far in all the tiers is that there's always been 2 or more safety cars. I believe they had 2 or more in F2. You can correct me on that since you commentated that. But in every single F1 tier, there has been 2 or more safety cars. So that's going to be very exciting to see how that plays out.
As it always is. Phantom goes up to P8 in the Alfa Romeo, currently the championship rival to the leader, which is James B, who I think is coming around the final corner. Yes, he is. He's going to set his lap time. What's it going to be? It's a 27.8, puts him up to P7, ahead of Ball Guy.
Yeah, and something that you have not pointed out is that there's a new driver here in Tier 4, the Williams driver, Dominic Square, which will be something interesting to watch. He is going to be our debut driver at the Williams. As I believe you said, you told me this, that you're going to do a lap 28 tribute to Frank Williams that unfortunately died on Wednesday, I believe. All thoughts and prayers go out to his family, because he was a very great F1 legend, and it's very sad to see him pass away. Johan actually retired coming out of Turn 1. So like you said, Turn 1 is already becoming a place for the drivers to return to struggle at.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a place to struggle. Hopwop goes fastest with 127.2, so marginally ahead of Valkyrie. But yeah, for those that do not know, Frank Williams, who basically originated the Williams F1 team, which is what Dominic Square and Avi are in right now. He unfortunately died on the 28th of November, and needless to say, it was a very sad day in the world of motorsport. So, as tribute, we will be going silent on lap 28 to honor him, and I have no doubts that everyone else on this track is honoring his name as well. Williams Racing, they've had a very successful run in Formula 1 with 9 constructors titles and 7 drivers titles, if I'm not mistaken. So Williams, I think, on record, are the 3rd best team in terms of stats. And, well, hopefully hopefully we'll see can Dominant Square or Avi try and get even more drivers or constructors. They're a little bit far back, but anything could happen. But yeah, just very sad day for Williams. But we're going to honor him by racing.
Yep. I did that 100%, and I will not lie with you guys. I was supposed to do that as well, but I completely forgot, so I really apologize, and I really feel bad for doing that, but it would have been a really terrible lot to do it anyway, because I'm pretty sure it's a lap where Gary crashed, so I deeply apologize from my heart that I forgot to do that.
It's all right. Well, luckily we make up for it. Frizy is the next one to cross the line. He goes up to P17 with a 1:29.6. He's no doubt going to want to improve in the Mercedes. I saw a bit of a yellow flag going on. There's a bit of commotion going on in the second sector. A bunch of cars were bunched up, but I think all of them have just managed to get out of that no problem. Next person to cross the line is going to be the Aston Martin. I think that is of Carbon. Yes, it is, but he goes wide of the final corner and invalidates, so he's not going to be able to improve his lap time. Next person is going to be, I think, James B. Yes, it is. He's going to start his flying lap. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. There's still a lot of times, a lot of ways this can change, but right now, Hallbob currently setting the pace, and next person to cross the line is going to be a Ferrari of, no, sorry, not Bald Guy, it is Fluky. He does not improve, so he is not able to improve on his position. Next person to cross the line is going to be an Alpine. Is that Ethab? Yes, it is. He's going to start his next flying lap, and next person is going to be Hallbob, currently sitting on pole position. He isn't going faster compared to the second sector split, but what does he do in the third sector? Does he go faster? No, he doesn't. By 6 thousandths, does not improve his lap time.
Yeah, something I'd like to point out, by the way, is that you have the qualifying glitch, and there's only 450 left to correct on that in case you get any confusion at the end of qualifying.
Yeah.
So I will just let you know when qualifying ends, unless you can do the time map yourself, which I was able to do, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're able to do it. You are able to do it as well. But just let you know, in case you do not realize it, as, like you said, mostly everyone's off track right now. Something I have noticed is that the drivers like Frizy, Carbon, James B, and Hobbob all doing laps on their entries. This is something you did in Realistic at Canada. If people forgot, you did like 10 or 11 laps on those entries, and you got pole by over a second. So that proves that that strategy will probably work as the tires get more gripped up, which will, with common sense, really will make you faster.
Well, I mean, that's just realistic, but I mean, this isn't realistic, this is equal, but there has been a trend as of recently, well, not really as of recently, it's been known for quite a while that doing multiple laps on the inters can indeed help you, because obviously, due to the fact that you're going around the track more, you're starting to understand where the grip is and isn't, and that is going to help you on your lap as you try and find more grip and ideally more lap time. And right now, everyone's trying to beat Hobbob's time. Shredder crossed the line, only P14 for him, ahead of Frizy, who's also on a lap coming around the final corner. Now, hopefully, he doesn't spin it around here. He keeps it nice and easy. Comes across the line. Where does he go? He goes up to P11, so a decent position for the Mercedes. A big up on his time. We'll see if he can improve that again. Next up is going to be the Ferrari of Bald Guy. He's going to start another flying lap as he backed out the previous lap before. Next one is going to be KP21 in the Red Bull. Going to start his flying lap. And next one, I believe, is Carbon, who is going into the pits. So a lot of people just, I think quite a few people are waiting until the end to set their lap times. Either get 1 or 2 laps and then just absolutely blitz the timing sheets.
So I do agree. As my headset is unfortunately dying, so I'm probably going to let you go over for the formation lap and the rest of the qualifying. But I will be back for product service that my headset doesn't die, so I'll see you then. So yeah, take care of anything. I'll probably hear you, so scream out my name if you need me for anything, so I'll be back until then.
That I will do as Ethab crosses the line. He goes up to P6, directly behind his Alpine teammate of Slayer. Next person to cross the line was actually Redeemer. He goes up into the top 10 ahead of Frizy. Actually, no, wait, did he improve on his lap time? I'm not entirely sure. And next person is going to be Shredder, who crosses the line. He's going to start another flying lap. So next is going to follow is going to be Frizy, who actually goes into the pits. So scratch that. So he is going to go into the pits as he's not going to be able to improve his lap time. Next person across the line, the Ferrari bald guy, currently sitting P9. Can he improve on his position? He does improve his lap time, but not where he stands. He still sits P9. He'll no doubt want to go again. Next person across the line, BRL Phantom. He's going to start his flying lap. And then behind him is, I believe, KP21, who just crossed the line. Same with Dominant Square in P13 in the Williams. Going to start another flying lap. Next person across the line going to be Avi. So a bunch of people already getting the laps in. And as you can see, a lot of them are on out laps. So they're starting to set their final flying lap times. Sloon is going to cross the line to start his final flying lap. Same with Father Korn. And the next person, I believe, is going to be Fluky. He comes across the line, doesn't improve his lap time, 6/10 away. Valkyrie crosses the line to start his flying lap. All these lap times are really coming around. Ethab crosses the line. He did not improve on his lap time, but he's going to go again by the looks of it. So the next person is going to be championship leader, James B. Right now, he's currently sitting a long ways behind Phantom. He's no doubt going to want to improve that lap time, as Shredder doesn't look like he is able to improve and sits P11. Actually, no, wait, he did improve a position. Apologies. So he now slots up to P11 behind Redeemer, who's starting his lap, but he's already invalidated. That is not what he wanted. As Slayer crosses the line, he's going to start his final flying lap by the looks of it. Ball guy crosses the line. He's going to start his final flying lap as well. So everyone's now getting their laps in. And Hoblob, interestingly, Halblob did not go out, so he is not going to improve on his lap time. Carbon is going to be the last person to cross the line. We'll see what he can do. But the first person to cross the line is going to be the Rebel KP21. No, he doesn't. He actually pits. So that is not what he wanted. Phantom also pits as well. So Phantom is not going to be able to beat Hoblob. What can Sloom do? He goes up to P10, but then is quickly beaten by Father Korn as Father Korn improves up into P5. Next is going to be in the McLaren of Valkyrie, currently sitting P4. Oh, and spins round at the penultimate corner, and that is not going to help him as he's not going to be able to improve his lap time. James B coming around the final corner. He's kept it valid. Where can he put that AlphaTauri? He puts himself in P6. Next person to cross the line is going to be Redeemer, but he's not going to be able to improve his lap time. Sits in P12. Next person across the line is going to be Slayer. Slayer's been handy up in the wet, and there you go! Slayer on pole position with a 1:27.0. And we'll see, can anybody else beat that? Carbon is coming around the final corner. Can he get a good position? Compared to his teammate? Goes up to P12, so he's not able to improve. Next person across the line is going to be a ball guy. He actually goes into the pits. So that is qualifying over and done with. Slayer in the Alpine, who won 2 weeks ago, is on pole position here at the Hungaroring. Ooh. Excuse me for just 1 minute. Alright, sorry, I was just getting a couple things sorted. But that is qualifying over and done. Slayer puts that Alpine up in pole position. Hoblob in P2 for Aston Martin ahead of BRL Phantom. Then it's Fluky in P4. Valkyrie P5. Father Korn ahead of his teammate James B. P6 and P7 for those two. Ahead of Ethap in P8. Ahead of Johan Laura. Ball guy rounds off the top 10 with Sloon, Carbon, Redeemer, Shredder, Frizy, Dominant Square, KP21, and Avi rounding off the 18 drivers. And with what's going to happen in the race, consider the fact that it's dry, we'll see what happens. As well, the strategy is really going to be the main factor. For those that do not know why no one else is talking, it's mainly because Zach the Beast, who's alongside me, his mic was unfortunately dying, so he had to plug it in and charge it. But now we are on to the race, and as Zach said earlier, it is completely dry. Sunny skies here at the Hungaroring, and well, hopefully some more excitement. We saw quite a bit of excitement in Tier 3, and well, with 18 drivers here, who knows what could happen. Slayer on pole position. Remember, if you guys do not know what happened 2 weeks ago, Slayer, he had a very good qualifying session, and he showed it in the race by doing a 0 stop. Let's not forget, he didn't pit in that race and won marginally. But he puts it on pole position, and by the looks of it, looking at the strategy, everyone is on the medium compounded tire except for 2 drivers. Frizy in P15 in the Mercedes, and Avi, who starts last in on the soft compound of tires. So those 2 drivers could potentially be one to watch out for. Well, I mean, if anything, anyone could be one to watch out for. I would ask what Zach's podium prediction would be, but unfortunately he is not here, so I'll probably ask him later when he gets his mic back. As Carbon gets disqualified from the session, that is not what he wanted. But going through the order, I would not be surprised if the likes of Phantom, currently sitting in P3, could potentially have a shot of the win here. He's definitely showed some form as of recently. Has had a little bit of bad luck, but he's still in P2 in the standings by just a singular point behind his rival, James B. Ball Guy will no doubt want to improve on his position, currently sitting in P10. And, well, he could potentially be a surprise in the race. Ethab, currently sitting in P4 in the standings, P8 in this race. We'll see what he can do. Oh, and you're back.
Yes, I'm back. I was here a long time. It just wouldn't let me speak. But my podium predictions, I believe Phantom will be in the top set. I believe we will have the Altitude Crusade Ethab in P2. And I believe we will have a bit of a surprise podium. And I believe that will be Johan in the Haas. I think that's my podium predictions.
Ooh. A very interesting prediction there. Johan Lara currently sitting in P9 for Haas. We'll see what he can do in this race, as we are now going to the start of the onto the grid. 18 drivers, Slayer on pole, and well, 35 laps ahead of us. And with although Hungary can be hard to overtake, that doesn't mean it's impossible, as Avi is going to be the last one to line up on his grid spot in P18 as we get ready for 5 red lights. It's been 2 weeks, but 5 red lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go. A decent start from the front 2. Slayer manages to hold position ahead of Hobbob. Fluky already getting interested in P3. Same with Father Corn, who's on the inside of Phantom, and Fluky going up into P3. A great start for the AlphaTauri driver. A bunch of drivers going wide, actually, and that's already a retirement. Sloan is already out in the Red Bull at Sector 1, in Turn 1. That is not what the Red Bull wanted at all. There's a bit of commotion going on in the back. Yeah, there's a lot of cars everywhere, but so far most people keeping it clean. There's a spin back, and that is Valkyrie, who is in the wall and is off at Turn 2. That is not what the McLaren driver wanted, but he'll still be able to continue in this race. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and there's a yellow flag now in Sector 2 as Father Corn is off. So a bunch of drivers already making mistakes, especially Slayer. Slayer, who went down from P1 all the way down to P16. It's gone horrendous. Oh, and that's another. James B!
It's Carbon off!
James B is off. Carbon is off. Fluky is off. Everyone is already going off on the first lap. There's a lot of commotion going on right now, but so far no safety car. And Hobbob leads the first lap ahead of Phantom. That's Ethab in P3 ahead of Shredder. And Johan Laura, Ball Guy, sits in P6 ahead of KP21. Frizy, Avi, Redeemer rounding off the top 10. Yellow flag in the back, that is for Carbon, who has spun it at turn 11. So already first lap of this race, and man, there's been already a lot of chaos.
Yeah, it really is. There's a battle for P11 going on right now between the debut driver and the Williams of Dominic Square and AlphaTauri driver Father Korn. Father Korn's able to get the move done. But something I like to point out is that the Frizy and Avi, they both started on softs. They started at the rear. Look at them now. Both of the points in 8th and 9th, they're going to have to make and try and do something here quickly.
Indeed they are. That's brilliant from the two drivers, keeping it out of trouble. And they went from, I believe, P15 and last. Oh, and that is Phantom. That's Phantom. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that one. I'm trying to get an angle. He is off at the chicane, and he has lost a lot of positions from P2 all the way down to P9. So already both the championship leaders are having issues, as Phantom has a lot of pressure from behind. Father Korn gets a snap, and Father Korn is now ahead of the Alfa Romeo. So already the top 5 drivers, if anything, are already having major issues, except for the Aston Martin of Hobwob, who leads the second lap, already 4.3 ahead of the Alpine of Ethab. Then is the two Haas drivers of Shredder and Johan Laura. So already Haas are having a great weekend. Speaking of Haas, Laura's trying to go around the outside at turn 1. Does he get the move done? Not quite, as Shredder's able to fight it back, but he gets the better traction, is able to make the move stick. As now Ball Guy's looking interested into turn 2, but backs out of it and will slump behind in P5. But Shredder goes a bit deep, and now Ball Guy's going to try to go around the outside. They're nearly going 3 wide, these drivers, and now Ball Guy KB21. Ball Guy has the inside and covers it off, and has managed to hold position. And now Frizy's trying to go around the outside in KP21, but isn't able to make it work. Avi can look a little bit interested in this battle too, but will just stay behind the Mercedes for the time being. So already these battles are really kicking off, as back down in P12 and P13, Fluky gets ahead of Dominant Square up into P12 and gonna try and chase after the Alfa Romeo of Redeemer, but gets a little bit squirrely there. Dominic Square not entirely having a look just yet. That is off, and that's KP21. He is out of the session. He's out of the race, and that is a virtual safety car.
Exactly how I crashed in qualifying and realistic.
Ah, thank God for giving me a breath.
Yeah, we're both out of breath.
Oh, gosh. Both Red Bulls having a terrible day at the Hungaroring, and they are already the 2 retirees out of the session. That is not what Red Bull wanted. But now, everything's a little bit calmed down now, and we can just breathe a little bit. And, well, I have no words to explain what happened those first couple of laps.
Yeah, I don't either.
A lot of things happening in this race already, and we're only on lap 4. And, well, if we look over at the position change, Hobwob goes up a position. Ethab and Johan Laura already both up 6 positions. Shredder is up 10 positions. He started P14. He's up into P4. Bug Guy's up 5. Frizy is up 9. Avi, the biggest mover out of anyone, going from P18 to P7. We said that both Frizy and Avi could be ones to look out for. And look at them. Oh, and right as I say that, Frizy and Father Korn get the drive-through penalty. That is not what Frizy wanted, starting on the softs, and now he has to serve that. Same with Father Korn, so they're just not respecting the delta, as Dominant Square gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. So Frizy has to serve that drive-through in the next couple of laps, or he can be disqualified, and he is going to serve it now. So Frizy is going to get rid of the drive-through and just most likely hope for a safety car. That is going to promote everyone behind up a position. Same with Father Korn. Father Korn serves it as well. So as of right now, Hobwob leads ahead of Ethab, Johan Laura ahead of Shredder, Ball Guy, Avi, Phantom, Fluky, Redeemer, and Dominant Square currently in the top 10, as there's a yellow flag. Fluky's off. Fluky is off.
Guys.
Yeah, the Hungaroring really proving a struggle for all these drivers, and Fluky being the most recent. Oh! Glad you caught that. Yeah, that is Dominic Square off, and that is going to no doubt lose him a bunch of positions and will no doubt have to pit. All these drivers are just not having the best of times here at the Hungarian ring.
Going between the Alpine of Etab and the Haas of Johan. These yellow flag once again, that may be Dominic Square getting out of the driver's way. But now it seems like Johan definitely has a pace advantage over the Alpine of Crusade Etab. He's probably going to get around him on this DRS straight here. We're going to the penultimate corner now, going into the final corner. He's going to DRS, and Etab gets a little bit of a smack, probably the rear axle's kicked in there in the entry. Now he has DRS. Etab trying to break the slipstream, so he's going to be looking for a move. Etab trying to pinch him a little bit, but I believe the run was too much, and Etab actually deep braking going into turn one. He's trying to push him to the outside curb, and it actually worked there. So they're going to be going Wilson Will going into turn four. Johan on the inside, Etab on the outside, and they made a little bit of contact right there. Now going into turn three, turn four, this will not work out. One of them's got to back out. It's lap 6. We've seen this in tier 3. It's not going to work out, and Johan thankfully backs out to avoid a collision.
EFAB in the Alpine. Remember Fernando Alonso back in the real-life Hungarian Grand Prix defending Lewis Hamilton. And well, EFAB, I guess he learned something compared to what Fernando Alonso did, and he manages to hold position, managing to keep it alongside Johan Laura and stay in P2 for the time being, as he had to make Johan Laura back out of that position. But he is very much on the back, and he's actually going to go for a move, and I think he might have made a bit of a mistake there. So that's Johan Laura now up into P2 in this race and going to try and catch after your race leader, Hoblob, currently leading 6.4 seconds. So the Aston Martin really getting a move on in this race.
Yep, I do not believe that Etab made a mistake. I believe that he just didn't believe there's no point in fighting it, and he just let him through there. Phantom sits his fastest lap as there's a battle for P4 going on between Ball Guy and Shredder. So it seems like one Haas is making his way through the field, and meanwhile the other one is on behind.
Yep, but still, either way, both Haas drivers in really good position, P2 and P5 for them. That'll help them in the constructors for the time being, but anything can still change in this race, as there's a position change for P10. Father Korn getting ahead of the Mercedes of Frizy. There's a yellow flag. That is Slayer. Slayer's off at the final corner, and it's gone. Oh. Yes, he is. He no longer has a front wing. It's gone from bad to worse for the Williams driver and will be passed by the Aston Martin of Carbon and is now down in last. That is not what the Williams driver would have wanted. But he'll still be able to continue on and hopefully hope for a safety car, as he's right now just letting everyone go by for the time being. And one thing to note though, BRL Phantom, I saw him set a couple fastest laps. He has the fastest lap right now, and look at him, he is on the back of Shredder already, as Dominic Square gets a 3-second time penalty.
Maybe to retire. I wouldn't be surprised if he does retire, but I'm gonna give bravos to him. If he doesn't, as Audi is in the lane, as Dominic Square, like I said, has retired from the Grand Prix. Very unfortunate for our debut driver. As there's a battle for P5 going on right now, I hope that they're able to catch it between Shredder and Phantom. Like I said, and they can move up the field after that incident in lap 2. So it seems like he's the guy to beat right now.
I did indeed catch that as you were talking. Yep, Phantom having the DRS on Shredder and easily getting the move done into turn 1. That promotes him back up into P5, and he's going to try and make a charge, get ahead of Ball Guy, who is in which Ball Guy is P3 in the championship trying to catch, and Phantom in P2. He's going to want to keep that position. Yellow flag, I believe that is for Carbon? No, it's Carbon. He has spun off at turn 10. And it's not gone well for the Aston Martin driver once again. But he'll still be able to continue for the time being. Fluky sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And Slayer gets a 30-second time penalty. The one thing to note, though, I'm just looking at the gap between P1 and P2. Yeah. Laura's gaining a little bit. 4.9 now.
You know, this is also helping out Etab because he's being dragged along as well. I guarantee you that's the reason why Etab let Johan through, because that way he's able to get it dragged along with him. So when Johan catches up to DRS range of Hoblob, if everything goes right for he'll be in the DRS range of Wilhelm. So we're gonna see a top two battle. We may see a top two battle.
Bit of a strategic move from Ethad. That could be the case. And as of right now, the gap between Laura and Hoblob diminishing ever so much more. So it is working in favor for the Alpine. We'll have to see how that plays out. Meanwhile, the other Alpine of Slayer sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, currently sitting in P11, trying to catch after Frizy, as he is the lead man to pit in this race. As Carbon also goes into the, actually no, he's coming out of the pits. He's on the hard compound of tire. And meanwhile, there's a position change for P7. James B getting past Redeemer up into P7. So while one Alfa Romeo is trying to make a charge, the other one has just been overtaken by the AlphaTauri. And that is now your championship leader up into P7. Redeemer looking a little bit interested, though. He got a really good exit out of turn 11, but isn't able to make a move just yet. Just slots behind for the time being. Possibly try and get a move into turn 1 and get the DRS and sail past.
Oh, that's
we'll have to wait
out.
and see. Yeah, Carbon is out of the race. I want to see what happened, as that is a full course safety car.
Yeah, right in the middle of the track.
Yeah, not surprised that is a full course. So that is going to bunch everybody up in this race. And right now,
you gotta go hard.
Everyone ideally is on lap 10. So what would you do in this situation? As of right now, Father Korn and Frizy are into the pits. What does Father Korn go on? He goes on to the hard compounded tire. Does Frizy do the same? No, he doesn't. Frizy is on the medium compounded tire. What about Slayer? He's into the pits as well in the Alpine. Here he stopped once this race. He's no doubt sitting again. Those are hard compounded tires, yes indeed. So he's no doubt going to want to go to the end of this race. The problem is, I don't think this is going to gain them much, as Hoblob, he hasn't caught the safety car. He was way ahead of the safety car. So if he pits, no doubt everyone's going to pit as well. So ideally, Hoblob could be effectively still leading this race, but his gap, remember we were saying that gap was slowly going down. Well, it's just been absolutely diminished.
I doubt that this will play a factor for rain or anything, but look at the track, it's gone overcast. Something a little thing to point out, because I got a 723. If it's overcast, it's going to help the tires cool down.
Sorry to interrupt. Johan, Laura, and Ethab have stayed out.
Yeah, that was about the point out as well. Good call.
That is a very interesting call from the Alpine and the Haas, as all the other drivers behind are pitting in this race. Ball Guy, Phantom, Shredder, James B, and Redeemer are all into the pits. And no doubt they will come out ahead of Father Korn, but the question is, in what order? Right now, the order is pretty much staying the same as it were before. But now Hoblob, from leading this race, is now down to P3, but the top two haven't pitted yet, so that is crucial. So Hoblob, he knows that the top two have to pit. He just needs to keep it easy. But the question is, he's going to have quite a bit of pressure from behind, because Ball Guy and Phantom are no doubt going to want to make up places after either their mistakes or their gains in this race.
It's something I would have to think is from Ethab and Johan. I believe they're betting that there's going to be another safety car, and they're going to go on the likes of the softs, if I had to take a guess. But that's only my guess, so I'm not their minds, I don't know what they're thinking. But if I had to take a guess, I would have to say that's what they're thinking about now.
I would not be surprised, as well, Tier 4 has been synonymous for safety cars. I believe in every single race they've had a safety car, so they're no doubt betting for another one. And, well, it wouldn't surprise me if there was. But I mean, I just want to see more racing, obviously. But now, as of right now, everyone is just bunching up behind the Mercedes safety car. And, well, they still have to clear up Carbon's incident, as actually Laura is into the pits. So that is interesting.
Very interesting.
It is a very interesting call from the Haas driver, the debut Haas driver. Let's not forget. So he'll no doubt have to make up a lot of positions in this race. Go down from P1 all the way down to P10, maybe P11 in this race, depending on Avi gets ahead of him. It's gonna be close between the two, but Avi gets ahead. So Johan Laura from P1 all the way down to P11. If he wants to make his way back up, he's going to have a lot of overtaking to do.
Yep, he really is. So it's not, and especially at Hungary, it is not the best track out to pass. We've seen that in Tier 3. And in real
Actually, wait a minute. I just want to know something. You know how I said before that Frizy went onto the mediums? James B is also on the mediums as well.
Ooh, gamble.
Let's not forget, James B, championship leader right now by a single point ahead of who's currently sitting in P4, which is Phantom. So I think James B, what he's trying to do, he might be possibly making those mediums go long, get ahead of Shredder, Phantom, and maybe more cars if he can, try and extend his championship lead, but ideally just get onto the podium.
Yep. So really, at this point, James B, I would have to think he's going to try and take it all the way, which I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do, but there's one guy to bet on that's going to save tire wear. It's going to be James B. So that's going to be very exciting to see. And safety car is actually in the lap very late, by the way.
Indeed it is. That is a bit of a late call. But that means now it is Crusade ETHAB's discretion as to when they will go. There's a bit of a position change between James B and Redeemer, but they've got that all sorted as ETHAB's already going. So ETHAB is already going. The race is now resumed. Hobwob a little bit caught out. Ball Guy has been really caught out of all this as James B is already looking for a move on Shredder down into turn 1, but I think the track is still yellow flagged for them. I'm not entirely sure, but James B makes the move and now is up into P5. Father Korn, the other AlphaTauri, is now up into P7, but gets re-overtaken by Redeemer and back down to P8. There's a yellow flag behind. That is for Slayer. Slayer is off at turn 1, and I'm not sure if he made contact or not, but that's not what the Alpine driver wanted. After starting from pole position, it's gone from bad to worse for him. But so far, everyone keeping it calm for the time being. ETHAB leading ahead of Hobwob, Ball Guy, Phantom, and James B, your top 5.
Yes, very interesting to see the start with James B going down the inside of Shredder and pushing him off track, really. And that's what the POV showed this time. I'm not sure if he did or not. I'm just going off what my POV told me. And he's actually catching up to Phantom, which I'm really not surprised at, to be very honest with you. So he's probably going to look for a move to get around Phantom quickly here, because the quicker you pass these guys, the more tire wear you can save.
Looks like Phantom is struggling a little bit on these hard compounded tire. He's losing quite a bit of pace to Ball Guy, 9/10 between the two. And James B, he is on the ERS button. He's in the slipstream. He's going to go for it on the right-hand side of Phantom, and Phantom just lets him by, I believe. So James B now is ahead of Phantom up into P4, already making up 2 positions in the span of just over 1 lap. And now he's going to have to chase after Ball Guy for the podium.
That's very interesting to see. Johan is actually, Franzi disconnected. I invited him, by the way. So I'm not sure when he's going to be back to join us. Now Johan actually made a position. That's Fluky out.
Oh, Fluky's out. Exit of turn 3. We'll see what happened. Now he's just spun it on the curb by the looks of it. Doesn't look like there's going to be a safety car for that one, though, but that has not gone well for the Ferrari driver, and he becomes the 5th retiree in this Grand Prix. It has not gone well for Fluky. Meanwhile, position change for P11. Valkyrie has gotten ahead of Frizy, now up into P11, going to try and chase after Johan Laura. Speaking of Johan Laura, he's going for a move on Avi down into turn 12. Send it on the inside and gets the move done up into P9. Avi getting a little bit squirrely there. Now Valkyrie's going for it into the penultimate corner on the medium compounded tire and gets ahead of the Williams driver. So the Williams losing 2 positions in the span of 2 corners as James B sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And look at that, he's already right on the back of Ball Guy.
Yep, that's just a second in a lap. Really, Phantom gets a 3-second time penalty. That is not what you need. As James B's probably looking for he backs out of it. Maybe try and get Ball Guy to go defensive and give really James B the inside line, then back to the outside, then back to the inside, but did not work in James B's favor. So he's going to have to regroup for like the lap here until he gets that DRS and mid straight. And by then he would probably And as soon as he gets to that main straight with the DRS, he's going to be long gone.
If there's one thing that James B is known for as to why he's so high up in the championship is not only his consistency, but it's also his racecraft and awareness, as he has not really been involved in many incidents. That's why he manages to get the position that he gets. And right now, proving that with Ball Guy, it nearly looked like he was going to go for a move, but backs out of it, playing it long, playing it smart, and he's no doubt going to want to use the DRS to get ahead. There's the battle for the lead. Yeah, like you said, further up ahead, Bob is right on the back of Ethap on the hard compounded tire, and Ethap struggling a little bit on the mediums. Ethap goes defensive. Bob sails past. Ethap dives it back on the inside though, so Ethap is already playing defensive. Nearly shoves him off the track. Did shove him off the track. Bob though has the DRS again, going on the inside of turn 2. Does he have the better traction? Ethap managing to hold it around the outside again. A little bit of contact between the two drivers, and Ethap's off. Ethap is off, and he's out. And Bob has lost it as well. What is going on there? Bob and Ethap colliding, and both drivers coming up worse. That puts James B into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix, ahead of Ball Guy and ahead of Phantom. Ethap is out of the Grand Prix, and Bob is down to P9 and falling back ever so much more, as I think he went off at the chicane. Yes, he has. So the Aston Martin driver not having a good time now. That collision could have possibly given him damage.
I am stunned at what I just saw. I had a school moment of my own. Mitchie has some competition now. Sorry for Mitchie, but yeah. As far as he's back in, wow, I'm at a loss of words.
Bob is into the pits, and I believe he does have front wing damage. He was losing a lot of time to the car in front of him. Speaking of into the pits, Frizy is also into the pits as well, going on to the medium compound of tire for the Mercedes driver. But I hope you know that I got a helicam shot of that, so I saw the entire track and more. And well, it's just a bit of racing between the two, a little bit of wheel contact, and well, both drivers coming off really bad in that situation.
Oh,
and that puts.
Oh, that's contact.
Oh yes, he is. He spun it at the chicane, and that loses him quite a few positions, and is now down into P9, and now down into P10 as Slayer goes past, as Redeemer was trying to rejoin the track safely, but the Alfa Romeo driver just looping it. And that is not going to help his race at all. And I was just going to note something real quick. The top 3 in the championship, they're the top 3 on the podium. Thought that was a little interesting.
Yeah, Joe's consistency is key.
Though speaking of it, hang on a minute. Phantom has DRS on Ball Guy. He is gaining a lot on the Ferrari on the inside now into turn 1. Ball Guy trying to hold around the outside, but isn't able to. So Phantom now gets ahead of Ball Guy up into P2 in this race. And that is going to help him in his championship fight between not only Ball Guy, but James B as well. So he's going to want to try and now chase after the AlphaTauri and try and hopefully get the win. But he has that 3-second time penalty. Let's not forget that's going to hurt him, as that will put him down to P3. So overtaking Ball Guy, that could be crucial, but it's only lap 18 of 35. So there's still quite a ways to go in this race.
We're actually halfway, so believe it or not, we still have laps to go through. It felt like that with the last lap of the guys, the way we guys been racing. We saw it in tier 3, we saw it again in tier 4. There's no point in battling it, especially going into turn 4. Seeing it in tier 3, you crashed out, and the other one got ring damage. Guess what happened? The same exact thing. You crashed out, the other one gets ring damage. There's just no point in racing it, in my opinion.
Yep, you really had to be cautious around here, as one simple mistake could possibly be your downfall. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle going on for P5. Father Korn trying to defend from Johan Laura. Laura, remember, he pitted under the safety car. He was P11. He is up into P6. I think Father Korn made a bit of a mistake there. That's allowing Johan Laura to have a bit of a look, but Father Korn is just able to defend it and holds position. Father Korn, though, he's looking a little bit squirrely, though, and Johan Laura's looking really squirrely. How is he not DNF from that?
No!
He definitely has front wing damage,
No,
but my oh my, that was a nasty scare. Oh.
It's gone from bad to worse for Johan Laura. First having to go back to the field at Hungary, a country he did not pass. And he gets on the curb and gets a snap of oversteer and wasn't able to save the car, and he's in the wall. He has getting damage. Really unfortunate to see.
We'll see if there could possibly be a safety car to help him in this race. Right now, nothing doing. As, well, he'll have to limp back home to the pits, change that front wing, and see what he can do. Meanwhile, further up ahead, battle for P4 going on as Father Korn is on the back of the other Haas driver of Shredder. Father Korn has the DRS on the Haas driver. The Haas just staying on the left-hand side. Father Korn pulls out to the right-hand side. Now has the inside into turn 1, gets the move done. So Father Korn is now up into P4. And hopefully he can try and catch after the top 2. Sorry, not the top 2, the top 3, really. And possibly make more strides in this race. But he has 3.8 seconds to gain. A bit of a ways, but it's still doable. We'll have to see.
Jeez, it's only lap 20. I feel like Lewis Hamilton right now. It feels like we're all racing for the win right now. But, yeah, on that. I'm just.
Oh, meanwhile, Valkyrie's gone for it on the inside.
That
was a bold move.
Yeah, that was an ambitious move from the McLaren Valkyrie. Paid out, though. So it seems like the guys on the mediums are really paying out here, with James B leading the Grand Prix and Valkyrie at P5 with the tire advantage over everyone else.
That is very much the case. Obviously, the other drivers that had to pit in this race are now on the mediums. Obviously, aside from James B and Valkyrie, everyone else on the hard compounded tire. Valkyrie and James B really looking like the fastest drivers out there, as I believe James B has the fastest lap. Yes, he does with the 1:19.8. But Phantom's not too far behind with that fastest lap with a 1:19.9. We'll see if he can get it. Though, as I say that, Slayer now takes the fastest lap away from James B and now has it with a 19.7 and is chasing after Avi for P7.
Yeah, it seems like every time you mention something always happens to them. It seems like a certain commentator curse. But anyway,
the life.
Yeah, the life of being a commentator. You want good things to happen to the person spectating. It happens. Something bad happens.
Yep.
Trust me, I know.
As Hobwob takes the fastest lap.
I've given Catcher a commentator's curse, and I've received a commentator's curse from Catcher. It goes both ways.
It really does, yes indeed.
We're rivalry when it comes to that. But it's all jokes.
Who can give out the most?
Yeah, we don't take it serious. It's all jokes. Or anyone tries anything. We're good. But anyway, it seems like everyone's strained out except for Slayer and Avi. And, well, Slayer be going for a move down here. Really? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is! And there's contact, and that is Slayer round. A bold move that just hasn't worked out for the Alpine, and that's going to lose him a position to Redeemer. And that is just not going to help his race, as he's going to have to re-overtake the Alfa Romeo and try and get back after the Williams as well. Right as that happened, James B now sets the fastest lap, 4.3. James B ahead of Phantom, building that gap ever so much more. So those mediums are definitely starting to work. Lap 22 of 35. We've got around 14 laps left. And, well, right now, everything just kind of staying stationary, but anything can change within a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
right as I say it.
This is Johan sets the fastest lap.
Oh my gosh, everything's swapping off.
Everything. Just be quiet. Don't say anything. That way we can just calm down, please. But anyway,
I would calm down, but I don't want to at the same time.
Yes.
As well, there's still a bit happening going on right now, as Valkyrie is starting to gain on the AlphaTauri of Father Korn for P4. Remember, Valkyrie started in P5, and Valkyrie is definitely trying to make things work in this race. 1.3 between Father Korn and Valkyrie for the time being. Remember, Valkyrie is on the medium compound of tire. We'll see if he is able to get closer to him, possibly go for an overtake. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, everyone, well, really, no one's in a DRS right now.
Yeah, we're all stringed out. But honestly, I'm not surprised. Hungary is not really a good track for action and not listening to this game. But finally,
well, if that's the case, then I might as well do this.
Yeah, let's go. I got myself.
Let's freaking go.
Let's go.
I literally put that right by my mic just to get that.
Alcohol. That's illegal.
I'm not going to confirm
Fire.
nor deny that.
Fire. Yeah, you're getting fired, bud.
I'm not going to confirm or deny what it is, but all I need to say is that it is definitely tasty. Meanwhile, further back, Johan Lawrence set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, is now on the back of Friese for the 1 points paying position, which is currently what Friese holds for the time being. He's going to have a lot of pressure from the Haas driver behind as well. He is really gaining on Mercedes, basically pushing him through some of these corners. And does he go for a move? Not quite. I suspect. Oh, there's a bit of contact between the two. Johan Lawrence hitting the back of Friese.
No bump and run here. F1, you'll get punished for that. But
yeah. Doesn't look like he has. As Friese makes a mistake and he sends it on the inside at turn 11 and gets the move done. Johan Lawrence is now up into P10.
Yeah, that was awesome. The watch really. I'm breaking this battle down like I'm Troy Aikman on Thursday Night Football. Johan baited Friese into thinking that he was going to make a move. Friese went into a defensive position, and it just set him up to go really wide in there, and it just let Johan through.
I'd rather compromise this line, and he just took too much speed going into the corner, went a bit deep as he has retired in the pits. So from 18 drivers, now down to 11. So only one person for the time being is not scoring points, and right now that is Friese. But we'll see what happens for the rest of this Grand Prix. Lap 24 of 35. And well, I'm kind of liking the calm right now, but I don't want to jinx it. So I'm just going to say exciting.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
What are you talking about? This is exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. So it's going to get boring now. You know this.
It's, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, delete it. Delete. That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. It didn't happen.
Delete. Yes. Let's just delete the race. We are God now. Delete.
Sure.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, really. But yeah, everyone's spread out. Ideally, everyone's in the first and second sector, aside from Johan Lauren Friese. But they're going into the first sector, so everyone's still, I would say, decently close, but not super duper far away or super close. And James B right now, 5 seconds ahead of Phantom and Ball Guy. Those mediums, by the looks of it, though, actually those mediums still look decent right now. So I think he's definitely trying to stretch it out. There's no doubt James B is stretching those mediums to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch because around now, I was heading for mediums to start to drop off. Because it's around like the 8-9 lap range when the mediums come to live, but around 14 to 15 laps is when they start dying out. So I would not be surprised if Phantom starts gaining a little bit of ground here in the later stages of this Grand Prix.
We shall see, but that is a great margin that James B has put in ahead of Phantom. 5.2, and ideally with Phantom's 3 second, that's technically 8 seconds. So if Phantom is able to catch up 8 seconds in the span of 10 laps, it's a hard ask. Who knows what can happen? He just has to hope that James B makes a mistake. And well, if you've seen James B's races, that's a bit of a tough ask.
Yeah, really. So at this point, you've got to be the most consistent that you can. Like you said multiple times, only 1 point of difference between the two that are 1-2. So if you Phantom, you cannot lose points if the title fight is just really this big or this tight.
As it usually is. As of right now, actually, I'm just looking over at the standings. Obviously, they're separated by 1 point because of James B. He doesn't have the fastest lap, but he's gaining 25 points. Phantom gaining 18. At the end of this race, the drivers will be separated by, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 points after this race if they stay the way that they are. Right now, it's looking a certainty, but we'll just have to wait and see. There's a bit of a battle going on further back, though, for P8. Slayer is on the back of Redeemer, so he's starting to make strides again, but he still has that penalty, let's not forget. As I think, okay, we are on lap 27, so next lap, if you guys hear nothing from us, it's because we are going to pay a tribute to Frank Williams, who unfortunately died on the 28th of November, as Slayer goes on the inside of Redeemer. Gets Mudun goes a bit deep though, and Redeemer cuts it back and is able to get ahead of the Alpine and stays in P8 for the time being. But as I was saying before, once James B starts the 28th lap, well, we shall all pay tribute to Frank Williams, who died on the 28th of November. And well, the founding father of Williams F1 team, 9 constructors titles, 7 drivers titles, a multitude of wins. And well, he has definitely had a successful life in the world of Formula One. And rising across the line, we shall now pay tribute to him. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at that moment of silence. Big news already. James B is in the pits. James B leading this race. He has gone off of the medium compounded tire and now he's relegated down to P5, maybe even P6 if Shredder is able to get ahead of him, which he doesn't. So James B now on the soft compounded tire, so he's not going to make those mediums to the end. And he is going to have to make a charge in this race. Right now, 14 seconds between him and Phantom. It's a tough ask. We shall see what happens. But James B, watch out for him, as now Phantom is now leading the Grand Prix.
I apologize. I was taking a drink of my pepper. But yeah. James B was not able to take the mediums the whole way, but that leaves Valkyrie. That leaves the question mark of, will Valkyrie even be able to make those mediums last?
We're not entirely sure. Valkyrie currently sitting in P4 for the time being, so a decent position from the McLaren. He needs this in this race as well. He has had I wouldn't say, well, it has been poor, but not entirely been the worst. He does have a win, and he does have 3 points finishes to his name, but he has a lot of DNFs, so he's gonna want this. He just has to keep it easy and just bring the car home for now. But he's gonna have to be careful though, and be sure not to get caught up between himself and James B, and James B is really gaining.
That's cool. But
Oh,
we gotta
copycat.
yeah, we gotta continue this trend. But like you said, he's catching a lot. Really, probably gonna get the fastest off as well. I would not be surprised if he does, as I'm drinking a Coca-Cola cherry now, since the beer I have is like already half empty. We gotta split pop drinks here.
Very interesting from you.
Yes.
There's like a bit of commotion going on lap 28 while we were silent. I saw the Redeemer actually went into the pits, and Frizy had a moment at turn 4. They're down in P10 and P11, so now Frizy is holding the 1 points position. Meanwhile, back up in the top 5, battles between Valkyrie and James B. And James B is very much on the back of Valkyrie. And, well, those soft tires really working as he gets a great exit. Has to cut across. So it's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And sails past the McLaren and up into P4. And now he's going to chase after his teammate. I would not be surprised, though, if the two teammates possibly swap when James B gets to the back of Father Corn.
Yeah, the pace difference between James B and literally anyone else is just insane. As there's a battle for
Meanwhile,
P7
Avi and
going
Slayer are
on.
going at it. Yet Slayer has the inside at turn 1, gets the move done, and now makes his way up into the top 7 for Alpine. One Alpine is retired, the other one is in the points and still trying to gain, but he has time. He has that time penalty. Remember, actually, no, not just one time penalty. So 12 seconds for the penalties. So he's gonna want to have Alvi make a mistake if he wants to keep that P7.
James B is already in the air in the bottom corner. He is just flying right now.
Indeed, he is. John Lara is into the pits as he pitted, I believe, onto the soft compounded tire. And yeah, James B pushing that AlphaTauri ever so much more. Lap 31 and 35, about to start lap 32. The laps are starting to tick down, but so is the gap between Phantom, James B. And we'll see if that diminishes ever so much more, as James B now has the DRS on Father Corn and gets ahead. Does Father Corn fight it? No, he doesn't. So that is a position change for AlphaTauri, and now James B is going to have to chase after the Ferrari, a ball guy for P2.
Yeah, he's just super quick right now. If he had like 5 or 6 more laps, I would even say that
he's already pulled a second over Father Corn.
Yeah, I know, that is just absolutely insane.
Mental.
Already 3 tenths up on his fastest lap attempt as well, so he's even quicker than before.
Obviously, with the aid of that DRS, obviously helps, but even then, through the corners, just the pace advantage he has, and that AlphaTauri compared to the Ferrari, 2 seconds between him and Bald Guy is just going down ever so much more. And I would guarantee that James B is fully aware of the time penalty that Phantom has. I am not surprised by that if he is aware of it, and he has to be within that 3-second gap if he wants to take the win. As of right now, he is 6.7 behind. He needs to gain almost 4 seconds if he wants to get within that 3-second. But first, he has to get past the Ferrari, and that could be a tough ask because Bald Guy, he's good in the race. He's proven it time and time again. He's going to want to defend this, but James B has quite a bit of ERS compared to Bald Guy. I noticed Bald Guy was actually blinking a little bit, and James B is around 35 to 40%. So James B already has an advantage in not 1, but 2 ways.
Yeah, if Phantom just needs to put it on cruise control, no point in pushing the envelope. Oh, that's the yellow flag. Is that yellow off? Yes,
that's Lara.
It is. And he retired.
Oh, Lara's out.
Oh. That's not $10. That's a retirement on track, I believe. Yes, it is.
But looks like, yeah, he is moving.
That is not allowed, so I would not be surprised if that is a stupid report. And like you said, between Bald Guy and James B is on the rear of Bald Guy.
He very much is, but as we all know, James B is known for keeping it patient, but he actually isn't looking patient right now. He's looking a little bit anxious to get ahead of Bald Guy as he knows that it is costing him time. 6.5 now between Phantom and James B. He needs to gain 3.5 seconds or more if he wants to get ahead. He has the DRS of Ball Guy, who's basically pushing him there, and he sails past the Ferrari. Is now up into P2. James B now has 2 laps to gain 3 seconds on his championship rival. Can he do it?
That's going to be a very tall task, but with Phantom being on cruise control, really, he may have a shot. He's already down almost by a second.
Hold on, I'm looking at something right now. Look at Phantom's fuel indicator. It's yellow.
Oh, no. He's probably saving
So
fuel
Phantom,
as well.
likewise in Monaco, could be having fuel issues. That could prove crucial, as that cost him the win in Monaco. It could cost him the win again.
He's already losing so much time. He's at 4.7.
Oh, James B extended the track a little bit. That's not what he wanted. He doesn't want a 3-second. He's pushing the limits just a little bit too much. He does not want to get a time penalty on the last legs of this Grand Prix. 4.4 now between James B and Phantom. This is very much going to go down to the wire. 4.3, and it's diminishing. Oh, that could be definitely crucial. Yeah, Phantom, that could be possibly a team strategy. Redeemer slowing up, so Phantom can now have the DRS on his teammate. That could prove crucial. And watch the gap. Watch the gap. 4.2, 4.3. That's cost him around 2/10. Oh, 1.1. 1.1 he needs. Oh, he is. Oh, this could definitely prove crucial. 4 seconds between James B and Phantom. James B only has 8/10. He can do it.
No.
Oh, you do not want to miss out on the last lap of this Grand Prix. You definitely don't want to miss out. Is Phantom going to be able to hold on, or is James B going to be able to catch up to the Alfa Romeo? 3.3. It is so marginal between the two, and James B gaining and gaining and gaining. He's taking it easy on track limits, though. That's exactly what he wants. And now it is very much on the cusp. It is 3 seconds almost to the death.
Oh my, this DRS is gonna be, oh, no, Phantom, this DRS is gonna prove everything. This is gonna be a make or break.
I told you that Hungary can always provide it. Phantom ran out of fuel. It's the same piece of Monaco. He wins on track, but James B wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. I told you, Hungary can definitely throw a surprise in the race. And there you have it. Phantom
all over
losing fuel. And James B once again stealing the win from Phantom at the death. No, I have not. I got it right this time. Are you happy?
Yes! 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 I'm happy. Wait.
Ball Guy
about
finishes
the
in
gap
P3.
before?
Oh yeah, I haven't noticed that. A small, very marginal gap between the two. James, okay. Need to catch my breath. Ball Guy finishes off the podium in P3 ahead of Valkyrie, and Father Korn finishes in P5. Shredder finishes in P6. Avi for Williams. An honor for Frank Williams gets P7 ahead of Slayer. Frizy will finish in P9, and Redeemer being the last person to cross the line, but he will get the last points paying position in this race. Wow!
Avi deserves an interview after that race. Starting P18, I believe, finished at P7. He deserves that driver
I
of the
will
day interview.
definitely be able to fight him. Well, there's your podium. James B getting the win here in Hungary by just over 4/10. Phantom finishing in P2. Ball Guy finishing off the podium. The top 3 in the standings finished top 3 in that order.
What a great race that was.
Oh yeah. 35 laps. That definitely did not disappoint. But Valkyrie, sorry, not Valkyrie, James B finishes in first 4.5 tenths between him and Phantom. Bug Guy finishes on the podium once again for Ferrari. Valkyrie P4, Father Cornin P5, Shredder P6 ahead of Avi, Slayer, Frizy, and Redeemer rounding off the top 10. Unfortunately, James B still does not have a mic, so we'll be inviting Phantom and Bald Guy, and we shall also be inviting Avi as well for going from P18 to P7.
Whew. What? I said this before a few seconds ago. Just a great race in Tier 4. Hungary, at least in this league, is never disappointed. Look for that trend to continue tomorrow.
Yeah. As I have now invited the 3 drivers that we shall be speaking to in this race. And like I said, James B not able to join us as he doesn't have a mic, but hopefully he will have a mic sooner or later. But right now we are just waiting on Bald Guy, Phantom, and Avi to join us in the commentary booth.
Hello.
Hello. We're just waiting on Avi right now.
Avi, driver of the day. Nice job.
Indeed. Oh, Avi is here. I didn't get a notification.
I did not either.
So we shall now move on to interviews, and, well, I really... Zach, I'm gonna take this one, because I really want to be honest.
Wow.
Driver of the day,
Wow.
Avi, from P18 to P7, and crucially gaining a lot of positions in that race, and crucially, for Williams, grabbing a decent haul of points in honor of Frank Williams, who died on the 28th of November. And well, Avi, how is your race from your perspective, and how do you feel about getting points in honor for Frank Williams? Yep, it was definitely a great drive from you indeed. I mean, from basically last to P9 in just the first lap in what was a very chaotic lap, you managed to keep it out of trouble and ideally just keep it easy, keep it calm. And well, getting points is exactly what you wanted. Zach, do you have any questions to Avi?
No, I do not. Congratulations, Avi, on your driver of the day interview. It's nice quite to see that you've came a long way since I actually raced with you in Tier 5 in Season 5.
Yeah, well done to you on driver of the day. And now we shall move on to who finished P3 in the race, the Ferrari of Bald Guy. Zach, go ahead.
Well, no, P3. I say it once, I will say it again. Consistency is key. Tier 4 and Tier 3 has proved it tonight that as long as you keep yourself out of trouble, you'll get yourself a good result. You indeed keep yourself out of trouble, and you got yourself P3, a podium, which is you'd get 15 points to your name in the Drivers' Championship. Give me your thoughts about that race.
I gotta figure out what fuel James being in Phantom's using, because I just can't seem to keep up with them too. We're having a really hard time. They must be using rocket fuel.
Actually, Phantom ran out of fuel at the
Did he really?
final straight.
And I still couldn't catch up with them. Man, these guys are fast. But no, I mean we had a good race, and I was feeling good. And I honestly, when James pitted there at the end, I didn't think he was going to catch us, even though he's going on soft, but he did. And just amazing drives from all of them, and good times. And I appreciate everybody from Tier 3 or Tier 4 showing up. And congratulations to Ichigo in Tier 3.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Ishigo was previously in Tier 4, and he got moved up after winning 3 races in a row in P2, and, well, he may or may not have won the Hungarian Grand Prix, so there you go. But I just have one question for you, Bald Guy. Obviously, well, first off, I gotta say congratulations on your P3, but I think the main thing to talk about is, were you expecting the kind of chaos that happened on the first couple of laps?
Oh yeah, I mean, how could you not expect chaos in this track? It's everybody wants to be ahead. They all know that track position is key, and I was just watching them peel like bananas. So it's kind of fun to watch from the back. But yeah, we got through it, and the next thing you know, found ourselves in second, and was hoping to hang on to that. I was really honestly hoping that.
Peel like a banana.
Oh, yeah.
That is an interesting. I might use that from now on. you gave me a new quote. Thank you.
But then with that rocket fuel that Phantom's using, all I could do was hope that he would find himself another penalty, and he didn't. So hats off to Phantom and James B. Everybody did a great job tonight.
Well, Phantom
As
may
you
be-
did as well.
Phantom may be using rocket fuel, but it burns very quickly.
But if he can get
That
far
is
enough
facts.
ahead, then if he gets far enough ahead, it's okay to run out. He can just coast across the finish line. Doesn't matter.
Apparently not. He's lost 2 races because of that.
No.
Flashbacks,
Yeah, well,
Monaco.
needless to say, well done to you on your podium, getting another podium and some good points for Ferrari. And now we shall move on to P2 in this race, P2 in the standings as well, which is Phantom. So, Phantom, well, you qualified up at the front. You had a bit of a moment in the first couple of laps, but you were able to claw it back up and put yourself up into P2. And, Will, really, the big talking point out of that was James B pitting off the mediums going onto the softs. Did you expect him to catch that much? And, well, were you hoping that you would have just been able to have the pace to keep ahead, especially with that 3-second?
I knew I was going to be ahead of Bald Guy, but I wasn't expecting James to claw that much, like, pace, especially out of the softs. Because I knew he'd be behind, I think it was about 12 to 15 seconds is what we were, like, coming, like, numbers down to. But he managed to claw all the way back up to under 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was a very, definitely harder drive for him. But, well, after this race, we're basically on the halfway point of the season, and needless to say, I think this is your best start ever to a season. Do you hope to keep that momentum and maybe push it further going into Belgium next week?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy, like, Spa, just by itself, the track in general. I think
Don't we
just it's definitely a very enjoyable track. I think just the downfall today was Sector 2, I was taking ACC lines, and it took forever for me to finally adjust to F1. And that kind of, like, what caused my spin. But other than that, like, I'm definitely looking forward to Spa.
As we all are as well. Zach, do you have any questions to Phantom?
No, I do not.
Well, I guess that'd be it, obviously. So well done to you, Phantom, for getting P2 in this race. Unfortunately, losing out to James B, who won the race by just 4.5 tenths. So well done to James B. It was a very commanding drive. And, well, basically pulling a Max Verstappen at France, going on to the fresher set of tires and the softer set, and managing to catch it in the dying moments.
So we're just going to
but-
forget 2019 when Hamilton did it at Hungary.
It was more recent.
But it's at Hungary. Doesn't matter.
True. Yeah, Hamilton did the same thing back in 2019. Anyway.
It could be 1875. Still counts.
Moving on. But that is going to be everything from Zach and I tonight here for Tier 4. But be sure to tune in tomorrow for Tier 1 and Tier 2 at the same times as Tier 3 and Tier 4 race around the Hungaroring. And we'll see how who will come out on top in that race. But if you're not a fan of Formula 1, that's okay, because we have a different race, which is ACC, and they are starting another season in Misano. First Tier 1 on Sunday, then Tier 2 on Monday. We'll see how they are able to start off the season. But if you want to see more Formula 1, even after Tier 1 and Tier 2, then be sure to tune in on Wednesday for Formula 2, which starts at 7 p.m. EST, or 9 p.m. EST, apologies, time conversion. And also we also have Realistic Tier every Thursday and on 8 p.m. EST, as they will be starting the journey to Spa. But that is going to be everything for Tier 4. So in other words, have a good day, or good